Hello, fellow classmates. I am Stephanie Romine. I don't know how many of you have traveled to a foreign country. It's really exciting, but can also be a little stressful. I know I will never forget my first day being in a foreign country. I was by myself, so finding my way to the city from the hotel was pretty hard. But getting back after a day of sightseeing was one of the worst experiences of my life. I get on a train thinking it's the right one. As time's passing, nothing looks familiar, and I start to panic. And as I'm panicking, the guy checking tickets gets to me. Through his very thick accent, he informs me that I am on the wrong train. I am also able to make out police and arrest. So I try to explain. He starts to yell at me. I start to cry. He almost physically kicks me off the train at the next stop into the smallest town you could possibly imagine. I have no cell phone service and I don't speak the language, but that part was okay because no one was stopping to help me. Luckily, I finally find a nice older couple that helps me find my way back to the city of Amsterdam, which is the city I'm going to be talking to you about today, if you couldn't tell by the shirt. So I'm going to go over their geography, some of the festivals and attractions that they have there. I'm telling you these things, one, it's always interesting to learn about another culture, and two, if you ever want to go there, hopefully I give you some cool stuff to check out. So, as you can see by this, the Netherlands is bordered by Belgium, Germany, North Sea, and Amsterdam's kind of in the middle of it all. The whole country is about twice the size of New Jersey and is described as being as flat as a pancake, which is very true. Their highest elevation is only 1,060 feet. So 50% of the country is only 3 feet above sea level, and 25% is actually below sea level, including their airport. The lowest point below sea level is 20 feet, so that's pretty crazy, and you can see why they need all those canals. The climate there seems pretty ideal to me. The summers average a temperature of 70 degrees and is only from June to August, which must be very nice. The winters are pretty mild and only get to don't go much below 30. So being next to the ocean affects their weather a little bit. More rain, cloud cover, fog, kind of like Portland, but nothing too drastic. So Amsterdam also hosts many festivals. There's about two per month. One of the more famous ones being King's Day that started in 1885. And the purpose of this festival is to celebrate the birthday of the king. So I kind of view this as an excuse to throw a giant party in the streets. DJ set up in public squares, food vendors set up stalls. You're allowed to set up stands and sell things. So it kind of turns into a giant flea market with lots of booths. To give you an idea of how many people go out, here is a picture of a crowd on King's Day. And as you can see, if you do not wear orange, you're not invited. And here's another picture of King's Day on the canal. So everyone goes out for this one. A little more mellow festival that they have is the Tulip Festival, and that is from March 20th till May 17th. It's held in the world's largest flower garden, has over 7 million flowers. So there's a bunch of different tours you can do with this one as well. Here's a picture of a tulip field. These are people up here. So just imagine all of this, but for miles. It's a pretty incredible sight. You can go tour that with that one. Another festival I found pretty entertaining was the High Times Cannabis Cup, and that is basically a pub crawl, but for cannabis. But what else do you expect from Dutch people? So they also have a lot of food festivals, music festivals, performing arts festivals. There's gay pride, there's religion ones. So whatever you're interested in, I'm sure you can find a festival in Amsterdam. So besides all these festivals, they have many permanent tourist attractions, one of them being the coffee shops. There are over 200 just in Amsterdam, and you can tell the difference between a cannabis coffee shop because they have a green and white license in their window. The red light district is also really popular. They have those famous window girls, sex shops, brothels. Not really going to go that much farther into it because I'm sure you already know. But Amsterdam actually has close to 1,000 museums. One is in the top 25 popular museums of the world, and that is the Vincent van Gogh Museum. And that is this one. This I Amsterdam sign is actually a really big tourist attraction as well. But obviously, this museum houses Vincent van Gogh's artwork. There's also a couple of other artists there, but not too many. The Rijksmuseum is the largest museum in the Netherlands and is dedicated solely to Dutch art and history, and that one's really cool. There's also the Anne Frank Museum, the Heineken Museum. There's more modern art ones. There's a lot, obviously, because there's close to 1,000. So again, I went over the geography, some of the festivals and attractions that they have there. If you do decide to go to Amsterdam, I highly suggest you bring a jacket and some sneakers. And don't just do the things that are legal there that are not legal here. Do some educational things as well because those are really interesting over there. One fun fact that I learned when I was there is that Amsterdam is the biking capital of the world. There's over 18 million bikes, so that's more than one bike per person. And they have a car lane, a bike lane, and a walk lane. If you walk into that bike lane, they will run you over without a second thought, and I learned that the hard way. So here is a picture of a bike parking lot. As you can see, they take biking very seriously, so that's pretty cool. I hope you guys learned something new and interesting. I enjoyed sharing all this with you today, and I look forward to hearing your speeches. And as my dad says, if you're not Dutch, you're not much. So thank you guys.